Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, Tracy Gohrick Light, Hope and Healing. For those that don't know me, I am Tracy Gohrick. I'm a healing coach, energy healer, and spiritual mentor. I work with you to find out what's wrong, get you well, and keep you well. All these videos I do and podcasts, I give you tips to help you with this. So, that being said, today's topic is hurt and trauma that have been buried need to be dealt with. So this one has been coming around a lot with my clients lately, and even myself and my family. I can see there's things that's coming up from the past that were buried because we didn't want to deal with them, or we didn't, we were taught you can't feel that way. You need to be stronger. You can't get your feelings hurt. Don't be so taking things personally, etc. like that, right? So when that happens, we bury it. Some things are more severe and they're buried deep. Today I'm going to keep it on a little bit of the lighter side because that's the experiences that I've dealt with lately. And the problem is, the situation is, even the little things affect us, not the really heavy, deep things. We bury them because we think it was wrong to feel that way. And so sometimes they're buried pretty deep and they're hard to find. Though they're not necessarily huge things to overcome, it still affected us. It's affecting us now. And don't take it wrong when I give you the examples of that they're little things, because they're not. They still affected us, right? So they need to be dealt with. You need to look at them. Like I said, the thing, and sometimes we don't even understand. And this is where it shows up in also even heavy things or lighter things will show up and affect our health. Okay? So what I'm seeing now is energies are coming in. The sun is putting flares out. We're getting solar flares out at us. And what that's doing is forcing the stuff to come out that we have buried. Okay? And so it's showing up more and more and more for people to look at. But what you need to do is, if a thought comes in your mind, don't bury it back down because you're like, oh, I'm not supposed to be upset about that. I shouldn't have been upset about that. That's my fault. I shouldn't deal. I should just, bury it, because you've been taught, from a little kid that you're not supposed to feel certain ways, right? You shouldn't get your feelings hurt. You shouldn't be so sensitive about things. So they get buried. Well, they're coming up. Now, what you need to do, though, is pay attention to those thoughts as they're coming up. That's what I've seen with lots of people, myself, and all my clients, that these thoughts are coming up. But if you bury it back down again, it's going to get worse for you, because it needs to come out. It needs to be looked at, and it needs to be healed. So I'm going to tell you how to heal it, because I had a client today and all of this information came out. So I thought, I'm just going to get right on and do a video about it, why it's fresh in my mind. So I'm really excited because I understood what was going on, but then just put it together and how to heal it, right? Because we just can't ignore it. And it's not a difficult thing to heal, because like I've been telling people when there's a situation, it's like, well, you have to decide to let things go, right? But here's how you can decide to let things go, because you have to work it out in your mind to be able to let it go, okay? So what happens is, like I said, something happens to us as a child or even as an adult, and we get our feelings hurt, right? So then we're told, well, you're being too sensitive. You shouldn't feel that way. So you bury it deep inside. And they're like, I don't know. Things will come up in the spiritual messages. The past is affecting you. It happens all the time, but they don't know. They can't grasp onto what it is, right? Because it's buried. And then also, we're playing this mind game because we're like, if the thought comes up, so because you know what it is, but then you've been taught, well, you shouldn't be so sensitive. Those things shouldn't bother you. So So you bury it back down rather than looking at it and releasing it. So part of that is allowing yourself to have those feelings about it, to be hurt, to be sad, to be angry about it. So what you want to do is you get the thought, it comes in, you allow what that feeling is that you have towards it. If you're hurt, if you're sad, if you're angry, allow it, right? Just allow it to be there. And then you look at it and you want to forgive. I'm using the example like somebody's hurt you. Then you want to forgive that person. Now, how I've worked on being able to forgive people is understanding hurt people, right? So, for example, your parents. Each generation, I feel, is working, and we're getting a little farther along with each generation in overcoming things that happened to us from our parents. We're taught, to way back when to like really be hard on our kids. They have to be strict and do this, this, and this. This is like a generalization. It's not for everybody, but this is just an example, right? So each one, like our generation, mine, has overcome a lot from that strictness. Now, my parents weren't that strict or that bad, right? But every parent does what they've learned, right? So we're all like getting better though, each generation. But the thing is, there's stuff there that you've seen, some of it's hard to let go of. And so you're still repeating some cycles, right? So what you need to do is understand whoever hurt you had been hurt themselves. Now, this is how I've looked at it to help reconcile it for myself. Most people who hurt you have been hurt themselves. We can come down to the littlest, tiniest thing. When you start to understand that the person who has hurt you has been hurt, it's easier to let it go, and then you can heal from it rather than still holding on to it. Okay? So when something comes up that you've been taught that you shouldn't feel, you need to look at it, right? You need to feel it. If you're hurt or angry, you need to be like, it's okay to feel that. And then you need to heal it. And how I've worked on healing it is understanding that that person's been hurt too. The other thing I do is we're here to experience things. We're here to have experiences and to learn and grow. And because of that, we decided and we got together as a soul group to make a plan to help each other out to have these experiences, right? So sometimes that's what's happened is you wanted the experience to be hurt by whatever reason. You wanted to experience it. It's a whole nother video to understand why our souls would want to do that. And I do discuss it in some of my other videos, so check them out. But we want the experiences, okay? I'll just go into it a little bit. As a soul, when we're not here on earth, we don't know what it feels like. We don't have the different emotions. We don't have the different experiences. And so we wanted to come here to experience the whole range of emotions, feelings, situations that happen to us. We wanted to come here to experience it, okay? The bottom line is, you just have to know it's either they've had something happen to them, you had a soul contract with them to have it happen, and to understand that things happen for a reason and not hold on to the sadness, anger, frustration, and let it go. Because when you're holding on to it, it's going to affect you and your health. And we're here to live the best life we can. And that's the other thing with these experiences. When you overcome something that's hurt you, you are at a higher level of emotions, of feeling, of understanding. And when you've seen that you can overcome something that happened to you, it's an amazing feeling. And you know you can overcome anything, right? So it's literally about allowing yourself to have the feeling understanding why it happened. Even if you can't, you don't know what the other person's been through. You don't know if you made a soul contract with them. Understanding that, healing it, and moving forward so you can have this beautiful life without this buried stuff in there, right? All right, so you want to start by being honest with yourself, okay? When these feelings have been buried for so long, you have to start being honest with yourself. Because we've buried them, because we don't want to deal with them or we think they're wrong, we've buried them so we don't realize they're there. Or if they come up, we try to bury them again. It's about paying attention again to our thoughts and then really look at why they're there. Because if you keep ignoring it or you keep burying it, like I said earlier, it's going to come up. So you have to start being honest with yourself. And this is what I keep telling people. You've got to be honest with yourself on your feelings. If you're angry about something, look at it. Don't go, oh, I'm not supposed to be angry, and bury it. Right? Now, it's not about holding on to the anger. It's not about just keeping being angry. It's about, okay, I'm angry. I'm allowed to be angry. But now we have to let it go. Okay, so it's allowing the feelings. Now, this is something I had struggled with for myself about allowing it. I'm like, oh no, you just gotta, you know it's there, then you decide not to have it and move on. No, you've got to allow it, at least for a minute. Allow the feeling. Because we're human, we're all going to have those feelings, right? We can't stop them. What we can do is not carry it on forever and ever and ever. Okay? So, we've buried these feelings. Now they're starting to come up. We need to look at them. And then we need to reconcile it. And when I say reconcile, it's about looking at it, understanding that they were where they were coming from. And maybe you don't have an understanding, but maybe they were hurt. Like I said, or you have a soul contract. Okay? So, that will help you be able to move on. It will start to help you allow yourself to bring up those emotions, to bring up the things that we've buried from our past traumas, even as children, you know. I know for a fact there's things I did to my kids. I can't think of what they are right now, but I know I look at things that I've done to them that they're going to have to work through, right? Just like things were done to me. And none of them are necessarily big deals. They're just reactions from being human, right? Or reactions from being tired. You know, I remember my kids do let me know this. I had 3 boys. They're all 18 and above now, right? Last one just graduated this past spring. And they tell me these stories, especially the youngest, how the other 2 would, like, you know, pin him down and like pretend to spit in his face, and he'd be yelling and yelling and yelling at me. And I'd be like, stop, everybody, just stop it, from the other room, and I wouldn't come check on him. And he remembers this vividly, but good for him, he's not burying it. But the point is, see, we've all done stuff that aren't perfect because we're human, and sometimes we're just tired, and so we react in a way that does hurt somebody, but not on purpose. Okay? For me, I have the example, and this popped up recently for me. Way back, my husband and I were newly married. We didn't have kids yet, and we went to visit my parents, and my husband and I both got sick at the same exact moment. It was so crazy. The same moment we both went and had to throw up. Anyway, so the rest of that next day, we didn't feel good. So he was laying in the bedroom, sleeping it off, and I was laying out on the couch. And I remember my dad saying, you need to be more like Steve and not try to let everybody know how sick you feel. And it's funny, I can laugh at it now, but I think it kind of hurt my feelings at one moment, right? But do you see, the point is, I allowed myself that, and now I can laugh at it. Because I know my parents were good people. They did the best they could. But there's little things that come up that were buried there that I needed to look at. And like I said, now I can laugh because I can see it's coming from me being a mother, the mistakes that I made or things where I hurt my kids, but never on purpose. It's just in the moment when you're tired, stressed, frustrated, or other things are going on in your life, you do say and do things that hurt others, okay? And that's the thing you can talk to yourself about when you're looking at something that's hurt you. Is looking at, okay, I've hurt people also, right? This is how we heal from it. Now, there is situations, probably the more severe, like I said, we want on the lighter side today, more severe that happens to people. And there would be a different reconciliation there for you, and that it's still something you have to look at, and you have to allow yourself to have the feelings, and then somehow you have to be able to let it go. Now let's just say, I'm going to use this as simple, plain example of the severity. Somebody who abused you physically. One way to look at it is they were probably abused also, right? So then it's about allowing yourself the hurt, allowing yourself the anger, and then understanding that they probably have been through something worse than what they did to you. Because it seems to me that it lessens. Now, there's other cases where it's not, maybe that's not true, but it's one thing that helps me overcome, and it's helped other clients of mine overcome, is something they've been through something, okay? So I hope that this has kind of helped you out a little bit today. I was just really excited in the healing that I did with the client earlier today, that this information came in and it helped me put it all together. I've kind of had it in pieces, but I was able to put it all together. I'm like, I got to get on and do a video right away. So I did. And let me just recap it. So be honest with yourself. Allow the feelings to come up, because they're coming up for a reason for you to look at them. Because you have to allow yourself to feel what you felt from that. Okay? Because it's okay to have those feelings. What you don't want to do is keep burying it, and then have the feelings, and then heal it. And by healing it, it's looking at it, understanding that they were coming from a place of hurt themselves, or having a bad day or whatever, and then letting it go, having the understanding. Okay? So I hope this helped you. Let's now get ready for the healing meditation. All right, one more thing before we do the healing meditation. If these videos are helping you and you feel like you need more, though, more accountability, come join us in the membership, Tracy Sacred Tribe. It's $9.99 a month. We have the accountability in there. We meet twice a month in a Zoom call where we have topics and answer questions. I send healing to you every Wednesday. You post what you want healing sent to, and then Mondays I do a group message for the group. It's a great place. We're on a Facebook group where we can all help each other out. That's where you get the accountability. These videos are great and they help you. What I've noticed with myself, though, is you watch something like, okay, I'm going to do that. You do it for a couple of days and then you forget. You forget to do it. So this group helps keep reminding you and to stay on track, because this is all it is. It's a practice to help change your mindset. Plus, we have energy healing in there too that helps clear out some of these blockages, helps free up your mind a little bit, clears things out for a minute to give you room to breathe so you can see more clearly, to understand what's going on with you. All right? So all that's in the membership group. Love to have you in there. All the links are in the description below. All right, let's get ready for the healing meditation. If you are driving or using heavy equipment, stop the video now and come back to do the healing meditation when you're no longer driving or using heavy equipment. All right, go ahead and close your eyes. I want you to imagine the violet flame below your feet coming up and around and through your whole body. It's cleansing, clearing, and purifying everything. Any negative thoughts that come up, just put it in the violet flame. Any stress, anger, frustration, just put it in the violet flame. Anything you feel that's come from others, any traffic incidents, any arguments you've had, just put it in the violet flame. A lot of times we'll take on others' things when we've had the arguments and it's theirs to deal with, not yours. So just put it in the violet flame. And finally, anything in the consciousness you feel you may have picked up on, a fear, anxiety, stress, anger, frustration, just put it in the violet flame. We're going to leave that violet flame there for the healing. And we'll send it back up to Source God after we're done. Now I want you to take a deep breath in now. Hold it and exhale. Another deep breath in. Hold it and exhale. One last deep breath in. Hold it. And this time on the exhale, relax your whole body. I want you to imagine gold light coming down from God's source, gets to the top of your energy, splits apart there and goes all the way around to below your feet. So you're in the middle of this gold light. You're in a bubble of the gold light and protection. Again, gold light, bring down gold light from God's source. It goes into the top of your head. It's going all the way down to your heart. It's going to fill up your heart, and I want you to open up your heart, and you're going to send gold light to those that have harmed you. Remember, this is only for you, not for them. You're healing the situation for you. It doesn't mean you have to hang around them, be around them, talk to them. It's healing the situation for you. So go ahead and send gold light to those that have harmed you now. Alright, now add sending gold light to people you have harmed. And if you can't think of anybody, put it with the intention that it goes to those you have harmed. So do that now. Alright, now add sending gold light to all of your family. Now add sending gold light to everyone in your city. Now send gold light to everyone in your state. And now add sending gold light to everyone in your country. And now add sending gold light to everyone around the world. Alright, when you feel that's done, bring the gold light back into your heart. We're going to take that gold light down our spine till it gets to our hips. It's going to split apart there and go down both legs, out the bottom of our feet, down into Mother Earth, back up our feet, up our legs, connecting at our spine, up our spine, all the way out the top of our head, all the way up to God's source, and then back down into our head. So you're getting healing energy from God's source, earth, and the crystals, and I'll send the healing energy that comes through me to you. So sit back and relax, and I'll do that now. Alright, go ahead and take a deep breath in now. Hold it and exhale. Another deep breath in. Hold it and release everything that came up for you in that session that needs to be released. And then one last cleansing breath. Hold it and exhale. That's what I have for today. Go do something you love, at least one thing every day that you love, something that lifts you up, brings you joy. Sing, dance, run around the yard, watch a movie, just anything that you love to do, do at least one thing. Then do at least one thing of self-care. Drink tea, Epsom salt bath, pray, meditate. Do that at least once a day. And then look for the good in everything. Look for the good everywhere you go. And when something stands out to you about someone, tell them, lift them up and lift you up. And then finally, write 10 things you're grateful for. Do these things, and I promise you're going to see a difference in your life. So have a great day. I love you all, and I will see you soon. Bye.